I can't wait.
You gotta have the same energy you had when he got drafted, though.
That shit went perfect.
Because when he got drafted, he was like, "Oh, you're not sure you want to do, you're not." And he came in there and had the great yo.
It had the great. He's about to say something crazy. What? He's about to say something crazy. He's about to say you had the greatest. Wow.
Yo. That is
That's out of control. I had the Giants make a place, or I had us getting like the 4th or 5th pick next year. Now we look like we're going in the second round, man.
Oh man, I love it.
All right, guys. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, man? What's up, my man? Demetrius, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
What's
Matt
good, bro?
over here. We'll run through some mic checks and then we'll be ready to roll.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna call out the color of the cable that's attached to your mic, and then just count to like 5. Say whatever you want.
Okay.
So we'll start with red.
That's you. I had to look at it too.
Oh, that's me. My bad, man.
Sounds good. And then blue, yellow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You have to talk kind of directly into the tip of the microphone.
Hey, yo, hey, I'm new, man.
I apologize.
Take it easy on me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, good. And then blue.
Yo.
All right.
1, 2.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Sounds good over
TMC.
here. We'll give you
Rest
a
in
3
peace,
count,
Nipsey.
and we're in. If you're ready.
Neighborhood. All right.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go in 1, 2, 3.
We got the video rocking, right? Just making sure. My bad. Yo, what's good? Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. What'd I say?
That's it.
Nah, I was about to say like I was doing a fucking video. What's good, y'all? This is Too Real Sports. We keep it way too real.
Unapologetic, unscripted, and uncensored, all the way up in here.
And I say you do the introduction for our special, even though he's both our brothers. But yeah, you do the.
Yeah, we got a good bro to the show. I know. Let's get his nickname out the way. My man EA, man. EA.
Rock.
EA Sports.
Yo,
Welcome to the podcast,
before
my
I
brother.
forget, let the camera see your T-shirt a little bit. Before I forget.
With this camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we
High
don't
technology,
make-
right? Yeah.
Let's
Back
make
to the
sure-
future.
Yeah,
Just so you already know what.
You know my contract situation is.
Yeah.
My bad. I fumbled on the intro. I just ain't see my man. He's a vegan now, so he look a little
you a
different.
vegan?
Look at him.
mean,
How long you been a vegan?
maybe meet on Tuesday, pause. But other than that, man.
Like you still get shrimp with broccoli and all that?
With the sauce on the side. I get the sauce on the side, man.
Gluten free?
Listen, man, I'm, most think I'm following the Kyrie wave. Kyrie went a little vegan during the season. He got this partnership with Beyond Meat. Pause. But I'm just trying to save some bread, man. I'm just trying to save some money. That's really what it comes down to, man. I got a son, and Cairo he's taking every dollar, so I got to find a way to, I got to start getting used to.
But nah, this definitely a long time.
base.
It's definitely a long time coming, man. Brother to the show, family of the show, man. Welcome to Real Sports. Let's do it, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it,
and we definitely invite all of our sports brothers out there. If you want to come through, kick it, talk some sports, how we do. Let's do it. So yeah, let's get right into it, man. It's a lot going on. Everything from, it's the summertime, unfortunately. So it's a bunch of TMZ, just really nothing on the field yet. But it's a lot still going on. David Griffin tripping.
Dum.
NCAA tripping.
Oh my God.
Wow.
AB, Zeke. Where we going to start? There's a lot to talk about. Where we starting?
I mean, let's start with AB because you talking about tripping. Like these people have been tripping. Like we know the NCAA tripping. We all know we gonna get right into that. But AB, man, come on, man. Like he's making me upset. I want to see him out there. Now I'm taking a personal interest. I want to see him out there in the field, and he's talking about he's not gonna play no more because of the helmet. It's not like they sitting there. It's a health thing. It didn't pass the health verification or whatever you want to call it. It didn't pass that. That's why you can't wear it. And he's sitting there up there acting like this, acting like the diva wide receiver he is. Like, man, it's just like I can't defend him no more. I can't say he's media because if he's really out here, he's out there saying I'm not playing because of the helmet no more. Come on, AB, come on. Pull your skirt down, man.
Yeah, what you thinking?
I mean, I want to. Yes, I'm with Evan on every point he made. But
He said Evan.
I'm almost like, you see it, right? Once you cross 59th Street, you should stop pronouncing people's first, last names. Mr. Roberts. But I just want to dial it back. I'm more focused on the hydrocryptic chamber situation.
His feet.
And his feet.
Yeah.
And how he can't run because I guess he didn't use the proper shoes or the proper footwear.
Yeah.
But he is running. You ain't seen him on episode 1?
He
He's
shouldn't
out
be.
there.
He shouldn't be, but that's what's taking him. He a dog, and that's not
Yeah.
right. So
But even just I can just touch on that. For me, it's more so because I've seen the videos of him with the Versace, slippers on, and he's doing this,
Yeah, word,
I love
exactly.
AD, man.
Word.
AD brings the respect is for AD from his players, his peers love AD.
AB.
But when I hear about the crypt, I'm like, bro, we get it. I've been there, right? You want to skip, you think that these steps are put there, whatever. You want to skip them. But dude, you in something that's I heard something about 300 degrees. Anytime you start getting 300, I don't know if it's Celsius, Fahrenheit, when you start getting into that, I'm like, give me everything, man. Yeah, give me everything. I want everything. Leather shoes, everything. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at with that. As far as him playing, I know AD, like you said, man, once AD gets on the field, he doesn't know another mode, right? He's a dog. He's going to get it done. But I think, take care of the, little things first. And I think hopefully that, transfers onto the field.
Yeah.
You got to stop calling him AD, though.
I just call him there's too many ADs.
quite a few times. But yeah, all right. So this is my thought on the AB situation. Of course, like we said, it's the summertime. It's the dog days. We got to make up stories. AD is playing football week 1. All right. AD didn't tell the Raiders that he wasn't going to play. He told the NFL in a 2-hour meeting that he had with them about the helmet. And, he probably just talking. You know what I'm saying? The same guy like we just referred to on Hard Knocks who can't let his feet heal because he has to work so hard is not going to not play because of a helmet. If anything, I think the helmet probably bring good luck to him or something. I don't know. And so he's just probably being dramatic in that meeting, saying that to the NFL. But AB is going to play. And what I saw also about the helmet situation, Tom Brady has the same issue with the NFL. And last year they told him to change his helmet. And Tom Brady changed it for a game or two, then went back to his old helmet. I don't care what y'all talking about. And so it's probably just a superstition thing or whatever. But, it's just, to me, another case of the media blowing up something more than. Oh, and then the example, and this is another example why we need people of the culture in media. One of the references that they used was AB tweeted from Paid in Full, the line where he was like, Mitch, if I leave the game, will the fans love me? And he put the whole speech before that, and they circled that if and was like, oh, he's talking about, but they don't know Paid in Full. So they don't know the whole, they probably thinking that's him verbatim, and it's really Paid in Full. I seen a number of media outlets post that and circle the if, oh, that mean. So nah, you come AB, the same guy who can't even let his feet heal.
See,
he will be playing week 1.
I can't. I really gotta stop doing this, man. I really gotta stop
It get us
being
all the
dude.
time.
Because if that's the case with Tom Brady, I don't want to hear shit about this no more. I don't want to hear nothing else about this.
And
no
Tom
more.
Brady admitted that he went back to his old helmet and said, "I don't care what y'all talking about." It has something to do with their helmets being older than 10 years and. So I don't know. It was something like that. But Brady's excuse was, man, this helmet's been good to me.
Man, I still feel the same way. If it's a health thing, if it didn't pass to clear the medical thing, I mean, that's a different case.
That's part of it.
You got
definitely.
children. But if Brady sat there and said, fuck that, give me my helmet back, then give my man his helmet back. If that's he want to take that risk out there, then sign them papers and then play ball then, man.
The one positive thing I think that came out from the AB situation is that we got some video footage of the Juice. I seen a clip. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but OJ,
Oh man,
the Juice is loose. The Juice,
He's going crazy.
went on social media and posted a video. He was essentially calling AB's. He was calling his bluff. He was saying, "You're not retiring, man. It's too much money in the line."
Especially with that.
That was a side story when I just seeing the Juice, saying the Juice needs a show.
Him and his Twitter.
Yeah.
He gonna get a show.
He should start on YouTube something, man. We need to get the Juice on video, man, and get a show.
It's
I think
coming.
The Juice
Pause.
definitely.
It'll be here.
The Juice is going back to jail, man. He just can't. He can't help. You gotta lay low at some point. Like you won. You lay low. You won.
Man.
But the Juice keep flirting with it. The Juice is going back to
He's
jail.
a habitual
They're gonna get him on like
line-stepper,
a prostitution sting or something crazy. They're gonna pin him on something like that. Mess his whole.
I watched every clip though. Man. That shit's entertaining as shit.
Oh
Man.
man, yeah, he funny.
Nice house too, man. I thought he was broke.
Yeah, he figured
He
it
got
out.
that old
somehow.
Uncle Pete money in that TV somewhere. Uncle Pete from Soul Food money.
You know, his name probably just can still get him to hang out with certain.
Yeah, word.
There you go.
All right, Zeke, we're gonna talk about some Zeke. Since we just, we're going to continue with the...
Know your worth, Zeke. Fuck them, Zeke. Cabo, Zeke. Get out there and run the sand, Zeke. Get ahead, baby. Know your worth. Don't come back to them. You already know what they're going to do to you, Zeke. Don't fall into the trap. You see what's going on with running backs nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They don't appreciate the running back position nowadays how they used to. Especially a player like you, Zeke.
This is a sad day
You
in
Zeke.
competition. My rival.
It's elite.
My New York Giant, my New York football giant rival
Hey, man.
does not want competition and rather off the field. This is a sad day.
I'd rather
in
they pay the
competition.
man his worth.
Yeah.
I want everybody,
man.
for the record, and even when Odell was there, search the tapes. I want the full team there.
Yeah.
Play the man. Nah,
I want your full team.
When did that whole dialogue that I say I don't want to see Zeke? I said pay
You
the
just
man.
said you didn't want to see Zeke.
No, I said pay the man. Know your worth, Zeke. Know
So,
your worth. Get your money, baby.
What do you think about the holdout? You think Zeke gonna hold out? You think he's gonna miss games? What you think?
I mean, me being, a fan of America's team.
Yeah.
And that's America from like Canada all the way down to Argentina, man. Go around. We find stars everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to miss some games. I do think, folks are thinking that the games he misses are going to give him more leverage, right? Where Dak won't perform up to standards if he's not around. So if Zeke is not there, ultimately that's going to hurt Dak's contracts talks or his leverage and negotiations.
So real quick, before I not to cut you off, real quick, right? But I'm glad you said that. I just want to say this before I forget. People love to go with the Dak is 4-4.
Right.
His stats dropped,
Yep.
right? So let's talk about that technically.
Yeah.
It's really 3 losses. The 4th loss was week 17. Dak played 1 series. Then Mark Sanchez played the rest of the game.
There you go.
So
There you
that's
go.
really one. But we know what people don't talk about? He went 0-3. And then what since? He's 4-0 since.
Yeah.
He's 4. So whatever he had to figure out as a young player, which any young player would have had to figure out in year 2, he figured it out. And ever since he's 4-0. So I don't want to hear the Dak has dropped his level when Zeke's not on the field because he's 4-0 in his last 4 games.
You know what this reminds me of the narrative? It reminds me of the Kyrie Irving narrative. And
Oh, talk about it. Talk about it.
Kyrie's first years in Cleveland and how folks will not let that go.
Uh-huh,
They won't
talk
let
about
the
it.
fact that Kyrie didn't make the playoffs when he had Alonzo G. On the wing, and so people, they clamor to that. Anytime you talk about Kyrie's last shot, people quick to go back to Kyrie's first years as a Cavalier, and it brings me back to Dak, where Dak has been stellar. He's been phenomenal for the Dallas Cowboys, doing things. He's taken to the Cowboys playoffs twice. No one wants to talk about that. I think that every game has its own DNA. And while we focus on the overall record with or without Zeke, each game brings its own DNA, whether Tyron Smith played, whether or not
Sean Lee out.
Sean Lee was out, whether or not Van Der Esch. There's many different things that within the game affect the outcome of the game. I think it's easy to say, well, Zeke wasn't there, he wasn't a 100-yard carrier, and that's the reason why Dak and, why they put 8 in the line and 8 in the box. Well, I say to that, right, to the point where if Zeke doesn't play, you don't need to put 8 people in the box. Well, let's do it. If Zeke doesn't play, all right, now you got a man you can float in the secondary. Let's do it. Because I do think, with Gallup and Coop, man, and then you got Witten back. Witten was out last year, right? So now you got a safety blanket back. You switch Randall Cobb for Beasley. I want to see it. I want to see it. I definitely want to see it. But yeah, man, I think that Zeke can probably miss a couple games. But I do think in those games, Dak will rise to the occasion and get it done, man.
See, I agree with you said. I actually agree with you said. But it all depends where you putting Dak Prescott on your own quarterback hierarchy. Is he a top 5 quarterback? Is he Brady S? Are you telling me that? Are you telling me he's like one of the greatest top 3 third-year players ever. Are you telling me he's a top 5 quarterback? Is he an elite quarterback? Is that what you're saying? Because you're right. Because my co-host right here, my brother right here, thinks he is. But what you pointed out, that you're absolutely right. But that doesn't matter when it comes to other teams, though. All that doesn't matter is did he win or lose? Did he win or lose? It doesn't matter about how Teron Smith was out, how Sean Lee was. That stuff doesn't matter on other teams. It matters on Dak and the Cowboys every single time. Though. You're right, though.
It matters.
And if you consider that kind of quarterback, you're elite. You're that quarterback. You're top 5. You're Tom Brady. Yeah, you got to still maintain that. You still got to when you still got to do better. You can't be going 0-3 because defense is stacking the box, putting 8 in the box when you run it back. And you can't get off, and you can't sit up there and elevate the other players with wide receivers.
Well, he's 4-0 now, and Tyron Smith and some of the other O linemen did not start in that last start. So he had to figure it out. I just want to just name real quick because, yes, I say Dak is a top 5 player, quarterback, definitely top 10. If you want to argue me top 5, I'll do that with you, but definitely top 8. But just look at it, right? Somehow we just diminish him being second in wins in the first 3 years. And when you break down the Cowboys as a team, besides last year, and we figured that out at the back end of the season, they weren't stud teams, any of those teams. They weren't even picked to win a division. The Eagles were picked to win a division all those years, maybe Dak's second year. But look at the other quarterbacks, right? So it's Tom Brady who has 1. Mm-hmm. It's Dak Prescott at 2. It's Drew Brees at 3. Ben Roethlisberger at 4. Russell Wilson at 5. So all of them is elite, but somehow the person who is in second is just some middle-of-the-pack guy.
It's not adding up. Everybody on that list has that hardware. Everybody has that hardware.
How long did it take Drew Brees?
I don't care.
I don't care.
He has that hardware. He's on that list. He's on that list with within the still relevant quarterbacks. Everybody on that list has that hardware. It just doesn't add up.
I think what gets lost in everything is the fact that when we talk Dak, whenever that DAK comes up, is automatically it's everyone else, right? It's everyone else. Who was on his team? Who was the tight end? Who was, and that's all that comes up, right? And then it's sort of you get what they call convenient amnesia when you think about, our coach is pretty much on a hot seat every year in and out, right? When you look at the other 4 players you mentioned,
look at that coach.
You look at that coaching situation. You talk about all-time greats who are going to go right, first ballot Hall of Fame. Everybody from Pete Carroll, right? Greats. We got Bill in New England. So these are all factors that. And then the continuity, right? The continuity that these guys have had. So you've had this player and coach together for 4+ years. There's something I would love to get a stat on what that looks like. What's the record of players and coach when they spend more than 5 years together and beyond, and seeing what that looks. Look at someone like Phillip Rivers, who doesn't get the notoriety that maybe should be in that upper echelon of quarterbacks. And the one thing that separates him from those things is that he's had a revolving door of coaches, from Norv Turner to I think Wade Phillips at one point stopped over there. I don't know, right? But there is something to be said, I think, about the surrounding cast and just how everything needs to come together. Listen, I'm a conspiracy. I don't like saying conspiracy theories because it decounts the whole thing. But you look at the whole New Orleans championship and the Saints, and when that and the timing of that, right? When that came around after the whole 9, right? I just want to focus on, and I want to just, again, bring a light to the fact that there's a lot to be said about the surrounding pieces. That's everything from the culture that these coaches have built in these organizations. Pete Carroll said, he got rid of everybody and said, no, this is Russell's team, whenever the questions came in hand. So I think, Jason Garrett is a great, I love Jason. I think Jason is a great leader. He does a great job of, just fostering a great environment for the players. Again, I see the players. I see how they react to him. It's not fake. It doesn't seem forced. But he's Jason Garrett, and I think that he's on the hot seat every year.
I'm actually not a fan of Jason Garrett.
Not at all. I think he's the one that's holding the back, actually.
Jason Garrett is my one fear of this team, being a Super Bowl team, because he just doesn't have that it. All Super Bowl coaches have this it. They just have it. And Garrett does not have. Garrett, if anything, and I think this also just goes to Dak's greatness. And luckily, Dak is such a leader. He's really the leader of that team. Right. He's really set the culture of that team the last 3 years. And Garrett really just benefits. Now, I love Chris Richard. That's my guy.
Oh,
I love Chris Richard.
Yeah. Oh man,
That's my guy. I don't know how we can make him the head coach, but
today
that's my guy. That's who I love. Rod. I love our running back coach Brown. I love
Chris
but Garrett unfortunately is. That's the thing that I'm worried. Right. But also to oh no, my fault. Go ahead.
Now, real quick before I don't want to keep on lingering on the Cowboys and Dak, but who's on that list? Brady, Breeze, Mahomes, and
no, Mahomes. Russell. No, Brady, Breeze, Russell,
and Big Ben.
Yeah, right.
You give any of those quarterbacks, all pros, 3 all pros on your O line, the lead leading running back, a top 10 wide receiver, and a top 5 defense. What are your expectations for those teams?
They all have that.
What are your expectations for those teams?
They all, how long?
No, they don't. No.
First of all, how long has Dak had a wide receiver? 8 games.
Every year.
2 weeks.
No, Dez he never.
2.5 years he had a wide receiver.
Dez was a facade.
Dez was broken up.
He was no Oasis.
Dez said it himself when Jerry Jones said Dak has never had a wide receiver 1.
He was right.
Dez said himself, I wasn't Dez when he was there. He was right. That wasn't a shot.
So Dez wasn't the player that we all thought he was because as soon as his athleticism went, that was over. He
got hurt.
And
once he got beat up, this is side note, this is why I don't like holdouts, but he had a holdout. He got his contract. He came into the camp late, and he got hurt. I think he got hurt against the Giants.
I think the top of the hill was a Green Bay game.
What I said,
he has it right now.
All right, so what are your expectations if those quarterbacks have that on their team? Top 5 defense, 3 all pros on the O line. The leading rusher back and a top 10 wide receiver.
Hold on, one more thing real quick, not to cut you off. I'm so sorry because I just saw this stat. I just saw this stat yesterday, and it's perfect. Everyone makes a big deal out of the Cowboys having the leading rusher, right? Ooh, that's the big. And really, as a Cowboy fan, that was more or less Scott Linehan overfeeding Zeke.
Correct.
No other team used one back as much as we did, and that's why we went to it, right?
He's not overfeeding for no reason, but
he didn't know what else. It wasn't like he was doing nothing creative. He would do an I formation, and Zeke would go north to south. It was terrible. So, but the Cowboys are I think they were ranked 10th in team rushing. There was 9 other teams better than them in rushing. So that whole one person just leading the team, that doesn't mean anything. If the Cowboys were the leading rushing team in the NFL, then you would have a case with that. But just because you have the leading rushing person, that doesn't mean anything for the team factor. So I'll rather have, as much as I love Zeke, I would have took an Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram over one player. I'll take what the Patriots have in 3 4-star running backs than one player. That's more successful in the NFL.
Of course you would take an Alvin Kamara to replace Zeke. Alvin Kamara had like 14 touchdowns and like 14. How many yards from scrimmage Alvin Kamara?
I'm saying that those 2 backs, it's more important to have a rotation of backs than one back. But everyone went, Zeke is the leading. That doesn't mean anything.
But to answer your question, I think, as far as what is the expectation when you place, the stipulations you have. I think you say Super Bowl, right?
All right.
I think you say Super Bowl. But that's been the case, I think, to Dee's point, that's been the case in those other teams. Everybody from, Le'Veon Bell was where? He was in Pittsburgh. He had the best receiver and running back duo. And what did he do with that? He didn't go to the Super Bowl, right? But the narrative would be Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin underachieved. It's never been Big Ben. So I think
Pittsburgh has a great O-line.
It's being right.
Saints
that O-line has been.
Saints have a great O-line.
Pouncey's been there for
Wait, stop. Wait.
Patriots have a great O-line.
Wait.
There's go
2.
for it.
He has 2.
Two what?
Championships already.
But none of those with Le'Veon Bell. Those were Hines Ward, and that was
they had a defense. Yeah, the defense was better. Don't act like these Le'Veon Bell years and AB years. They had a good defense. They had no still current defense.
But also with Big Ben's 2 championships, let's keep it in. He wasn't a factor.
Right, Hines Ward had the lead. He played the leader in that locker room.
He played terrible in both Super Bowls.
Of course he did.
So it wasn't Big Ben who won. That just shows you the team factor of everything.
Hell, terrible. No. That Super Bowl.
He had 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown in 2 Super Bowls.
The Steelers versus the Cardinals.
He
played terrible in that Super Bowl.
He had 1 touchdown to Santonio Holmes. That is the only touchdown he has in 2 Super Bowls. And 3 picks.
And the touchdown to Santonio Holmes. Thank you, Santonio.
And Santonio, you can argue that's
great ball
placement. That's better catch than throw.
Great ball placement.
So it's not like Big Ben went to the Super Bowl and was tearing it up.
I'm not here to downplay entire Super Bowls, man. I'm not here to do that. The man has.
Shout out to Santonio Holmes,
you talking about it like he don't have nothing. Like he's been had this stuff and don't have nothing.
He doesn't. if we want to be real. Ben, I've told you this before. Big Ben is overrated.
All right, what's his record in the play? Is it above 500 record in the playoffs with these elements?
I don't know. I know he had, like he said, the best running back and the best wide receiver, and
a great tight end.
And who they losing to? Are they losing to Brady every year?
I don't know.
Is that who they losing to?
I don't know, but your energy somehow changed for Dak, who's a third-year player, to Big Ben, who was a vet at the time. You should be saying the same thing.
No, he's top 5. He's top 5 quarterback. To you, he's top 5 quarterback. So look, I told him.
So you should have the same. So you should put the same pressure that Big Ben had, the best wide receiver and the best running back, and they fumbled every year.
Every year.
So my thing for Dak, just so we talking to expectations, you gotta go. You definitely have to go to the NFC Championship. And I would like, and you have enough to get to the Super Bowl. But I don't want to put Super Bowl because there's a lot of factors that go on in the season.
Super Bowl.
There's a lot of things that go on. No, you can't
Super
put. I wouldn't put that on no fourth-year player.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put that on no fourth-year player. Come on.
Fourth-year player.
I mean, Stephon Diggs had to catch a great ball for Minnesota to win. The Super
Bowl,
Bowl, it takes every coin, every drop, every play to go your way.
It's a lot of things.
Unless you're tweaking the outcome. New England Patriots.
It's a lot of factors. So I'm not gonna do that.
Super Bowl the bus.
But I can't wait. All right, let's talk about some. Let's talk some basketball, man. Let's get David Griffin out the way. Then we're gonna talk about NCAA and they crazy ass. But David Griffin, only thing I want to say, man, this is like it sounds like a crybaby article to me. That's what it sounds. It sounds like a crybaby article. And the bad thing is LeBron James has made his career pretty. I don't want to say made because he did have a career before LeBron James, but he wasn't on this plateau as a GM that he is now, and that's all because of LeBron James. And so to shy away from pressure, because that's what I took it from. You don't want pressure, and it sounded like a crybaby article to me. What you was thinking?
To me, if I could just, but to me, it was more so. I was thinking about the why, right? Like I wasn't thinking about the what. The what was, he came out and said something, but I was thinking more like, what? I'm like, damn, like this is over, right? LeBron is in there. He's filming Space Jam. That's really. Like, why would you do that? Like, you're obviously you're with Zion now. Like, why would you bring extra attention to yourself? Why would you say something that's so like incendiary about LeBron, who is like a world icon? So that's to me. That's more like that's the question.
And shows love to you and your family.
Correct, right? And I think as you said, elevated your career, elevated your resume as a GM. No one knew who David Griffin was. It sounded like you were a lawyer. Like David, come on, David Griffin. So I want to know the why. Like, why are you doing that? So. I put that out there, like why would David Griffin even like say something like that? And then I'm thinking about more so is how about you focus on New Orleans? Like New Orleans has a great situation. You obviously got this marketing.
Great situation.
And we can get it. We talked 2 days about Zion. I don't buy it, but
you don't buy Zion?
No, I don't buy Zion, man.
No.
I played basketball long enough, man. But that's what it's more so that, right? Like, why would you even bring that attention over to New Orleans and to the Pelicans when you're obviously trying to establish something new? So that to me was a flag, which then led me to believe that maybe his words were misconstrued, right? Because like, why? It just made no sense. There was no value in him saying, what he said about LeBron after the fact when there was no plus coming out.
It wasn't misconstrued
at all. That's my whole problem with it. Him backtracking was my whole issue. Why are you backtracking for? I think that's how he honestly felt the whole entire time. Yeah. Like that's not a traditional way to sit there and win a championship. To sit there and get mad every 3 seconds and complain to the media and then I got to rechange the roster. I got to get a new coach again. I got to trade this guy again. It's not. And I'm pretty sure it did cause stress to him, and he was like, damn. And he had to, there's a lot of pressure on him. And he's going to cave to LeBron every single time, and that's probably what he didn't want, but he had no choice, and he's like, all right, fine. And that's what he probably honestly meant. But all the backtracking and all that, and he's not gonna sit there and be a fraud in front of him. He's going to be a fraud in front of him. Oh, LeBron, and he sees him, hey, he play with little Bronny, hey, little Bronny, hey, little something. He plays with everybody. So he's going to be a fraud, and then when he sit there and don't got to deal with it no more, he's going to speak his piece. Now, what he's doing in New Orleans is damn near incredible. He's off to a great start. I mean, if that's how you felt, then whatever. But sit there to bring that to bring that to the light right now is kind of unnecessary, though. But honestly, that's how he felt. And then honestly, I can understand what he's feeling, but don't backtrack.
I think if I could just jump in real quick, I think the one side also what it does to LeBron, like no one. I think this has been LeBron's first off season where he's been like the bad guy, right? Like no one is talking about LeBron the next year, his expectations. Everyone's talking about the Clippers and everyone else. So I think for LeBron, it's gonna be dangerous, man, because this is the first year where I think he feels like the underdog, and he has things like this, right? Who are just like he can use as bulletin board material. So I definitely want to make a plug that I think this year, man, you're gonna see some special things from LeBron. I'm not a LeBron stan, but all that's being said and everything that's being like, his name being dragged in. So I'm going to talk about the NCAA stuff in a minute. Look out for a great year, man, from LeBron.
I mean, I have, and then we're going more about the Griffin thing. Two things with LeBron real quick. I can see a great year also, but there's an honest part of me that just feels like it's over.
I think it's gonna be a regular year, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, LeBron. He's gonna be like, oh, he's back. I told you it's gonna be a regular LeBron year.
He's gonna have high. It's just it's just how it goes. It's we didn't want Mike to go. We didn't want Kobe to go.
Right.
But it happens.
But I think he'll be more engaged. I think last year, like us, when we were watching LeBron for so long, he was not engaged.
I think he will definitely come out with a chip. Yeah. I think that lasts for so long. Yeah. When there's 82 games,
you know what I'm saying?
Year
17 and all that.
After a while, it's like, oh man, my back hurt. So, but back to the I honestly think like the comments aren't that bad, right? I think it's the problem with, unfortunately, with media, right? And a lot of things today, as far as not even media's fault, but just what forms from it was like he didn't say anything that was like totally backstabbing, and I want to make clear that I say that because their families have a real relationship. Like LeBron supported his wife recently with her wine, so that's like a real relationship. I just think, unfortunately, with media now and everyone being able to do interviews and be on podcasts and things like that, people overtalk. And then this is what happens from over-talking. All of us here are brothers, and at some point you probably feel some sort of way about the other one, but you hold that in, and then you don't say nothing. But if you say something, now you've created something. You know what I'm saying? So what he said wasn't that bad, but he just over-talked. And be a GM. We don't need you all in the videos. You know what I'm saying? So
dancing.
Yeah. Just be a GM and stay behind the scenes. Because that's where I go with the crybaby stuff is all this pressure on me. No, if you're being a GM and being behind the scenes, nobody knows who the hell you are. You know what I'm saying? So this pressure that you created is in your head. But you want to be David Griffin. You want to be known. So now you got it. I just feel bad now for the Pelicans because this could bring, I believe in my sports cards. This can bring some energy that you didn't want.
If y'all want to talk about LeBron, you want to see a woe? You gonna see Washington versus the Pelicans next year. That's a game you can be like, oh shit, that's the tournament when LeBron is gonna go crazy.
Yeah, that's a
taking
fact.
it over.
He's gonna have 1,000 that game.
And then we're gonna leapfrog over to Rich Paul and the NCAA, right? Real quick to explain the rule. In the simplest form, college players coming out, if they want to be represented by an agent, must be represented by an agent with a bachelor's degree. The controversy of that is because Rich Paul's success, it's obvious that this rule is created because Rich Paul's success, Rich Paul, LeBron's best friend in the Four Horsemen, and he doesn't have a bachelor's degree. They just figured it out. And so which talk to me, fellas.
There's loopholes everywhere. Loopholes in taxes, loopholes and communication with players in the whole season, and not one institution, not even the United States government, has shut down the loopholes with taxes. Here we are with the NCAA, the young black dude who's coming in and moshing up the game. Shout out to my Caribbean folks. He coming here and moshing up the game, getting around all them loopholes. He's tearing it up, and all of a sudden here comes this rule. I'm not even going to get even all into the intricacies of it, but it's simply like this. NCAA basketball is the only sport who's doing it. It's only basketball. It doesn't happen in hockey. It doesn't happen in tennis. This rule doesn't apply to any other sport besides basketball. So you already know what's going on here. But like LeBron said, they big mad, and they ain't gonna stop it. They can't stop it.
It's funny because I'm always thinking about like when this conversation first came up and how it took like a race approach, and I thought about just like the U.S. government, right? And I'm not comparing the two, NCAA to U.S. government. There's some parallels, but I'm not comparing the two. But I think about just like how the U.S. government is always thinking about 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, and how the NCAA is scared. Right, the NCAA is
very scared.
It's scared because NCAA knows they're a couple years removed from the fact that, or a couple years to come from, where players don't need the NCAA. I think you're starting to see an uptick in players going overseas with LaMelo, and R.J. Hampton going over to Australia. ESPN is actually going to stream and televise games from Australia. So again, right, your product now is on thin ice, right? So what do? Right? You essentially you point the finger. You say that, oh no, look guys, like camera should go over here. It's not about, we're not paying the players. It's about this guy. Look at this guy coming out. And he's the slimy guy who's taking advantage of our kids, and you've been doing that. I mean, NCAA has been like the
pot calling the kettle white.
It's like, huh? So to me, it's more about that. And like 5, 6 years down the line, I think about. I'm a big like avid AAU fan. I'm constantly watching. I mean, all that stuff is now being televised, and there's a new wave of players coming out, man. That's are going to be eligible to skip college and go straight to the NBA. And the NCAA is already thinking about, that group of players and seeing how exactly we can start eliminating their representation, not eliminating their representation, but affecting who or funneling who we want to represent these players. Rich Paul had that situation with Baisley. I'm a fan, but I follow Syracuse basketball. I was kind of, a little tight when Baisley went to New Balance for the internship. But I'm sure for his family, that's $1 million. That's like, that's something you're never, ever going to be able to do at Syracuse. So for all that, I commend that. So I think all these things, are letting the NCAA know that, hey, like the system is changing right before your eyes. Rich Paul is a big cog in all these different changes. His influence is, is tied to LeBron. So, they like if LeBron said they're afraid, man. They know it's coming down. I can't wait for when players out of high school get to choose what they want to do with their careers. And I think the NCAA eventually will, not fold, but they eventually, they'll align and they'll restructure their rules and priorities and where you can get a bagel and cream cheese and not be a violation.
And not have to sit down half the season in conference tournaments and all that
shit. They
better. Got a croissant.
It's actually kind of like what you just said. The way I look at it, it's no different from the election with Trump, right? A big part of that was white people, felt like, we're losing the country. We got to do something extreme. You know what I'm saying? And it's inevitable. Yeah. You're not losing the country because it's not your country.
There you go.
But it's inevitable that the country is changing and, you're becoming the minority. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with the NCAA. They realize, and, I've been preaching a lot of this since LeVar, Uncle Davis. They're seeing, they're becoming smart about what to do. They're not just signing anything. They're negotiating. They're realizing they're more the gift, and their power. So it's like, what are we going to do? Yep. And unfortunately, like these agents who has these bachelor degrees, you do nothing. You do nothing. You just have a name. And so a player signs with you, some of history. These contracts now are structured out pretty standardly. You know what I'm saying? So if you have some of these players, if you have a max contract player, what are you doing as an agent?
Bobby Wagner.
You're just going into the office. Like, you don't have to do anything. So I could have my Uncle Dennis do this. And we could get that cut.
Get that 15.
Because you're not doing – and if anything, you're probably stealing my money. You're doing stuff that I have no clue about. You know what I'm saying? So they realize that their time is over of pretty much stealing these black kids' money and these Hispanic kids and all these minority kids' money just because they don't know no better. And now people are knowing better. And so they trying to have a grip hold on it. But, like anything, minorities are resilient. You know what I'm saying? All minorities come from the dirt and build it up to the way they came. So it's no different from anything. They're going to find a way, and you can't stop it.
If I could just jump in real quickly, and I think you made me think about this point. This has been the American way, but this has been the way things have always been. This has been the strategy.
The
right?
American way.
It's ultimately how, if this person, you see this person as someone who represents you, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to take that person away from you, right? We go as far as back as, Malcolm X, right? Hampton and the Black Panthers. These all the people, again, were picking up steam. And the minute they were picking up steam, it's like, oh, no. That's a risk, man. That's too scary, man. Yeah, cut that out, man. We can't even have, them thinking that they have someone who they can, actually believe in and would speak for them. And you can, I can see that. I can see, 80% of NCAA basketball players, Division I, who get scholarships are of color. I can see that and what? You get 30 people. I can see all 30 athletes or all 30 players going into the draft going under Rich Paul in a year. You got to stop that early.
And to piggyback what you said, this is why I feel like the media bashed LeVar, bashed Uncle Dennis, bashed Rich Paul, because that was their way of trying to eliminate the rest from having that thought, you know. So let's bash them. Yeah. And naturally, and I understand it, if I tell you 10 out of 10 times something bad about a person, even though you never met them or anything, you just going to think bad about them. It's just a natural, you know. So I think that was the whole, because even like to the back end, when we seeing these big shows from the First Takes to the Undisputed, and their first topic is Rich Paul. It's like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
How is Rich Paul your first?
Someone can't be that slow, man.
And not, all of them, not just them, but all of them.
And then the level, degree of greed involved in this is like real disgusting, because we talking about a billion. They making billions. The NCAA is making billions. Every single kid who's coming through the ranks is trying to go pro. Everybody's not going to take these risks. Everybody's not going to take that route to go overseas. Everybody's not going to go straight to the league. You can still have players that's viable for TV and get your ratings and get people coming and sell them tickets. You still going to get all that. You think everybody's going to sit there and try to skip and take that risk and then hey, man. Like it's not gonna happen. But you're gonna go from $1 billion to 700 million. Is the dome is the science the science dome in Alabama is still not gonna have moving walls and all that stuff and see through whatever you're trying to, like, everything's still gonna get their money, but like the level of greed is like real disgusting, and that's all it is. They trying to have all this money still fat their pockets, and nah, man.
The greed is crazy. And players, this is what you do. Follow LeBron's blueprint. If y'all know how Rich Paul got on, this is what they did. LeBron had a big-time agent when he first came out. I don't remember the agent's name, but a big-time agent. He had Rich Paul intern under him. Get the game.
Okay.
Once Rich came to him, like, I got the game. You're fired. All right, homie. Good. Appreciate you. Peace. And so do the same thing. They don't want your family, your Uncle Dennis, your Rich Paul. All right, we're going to go under somebody for a year or two. And then fire them, and then we rewrite in it.
That's it. Make it happen. You know what's interesting about, and I'll leave with this, is the NCAA is quick to hide behind when the talks around compensation comes around. They're quick to hide the fact behind, like, well, we can't pay the basketball players more than the swimming team.
That's That's how it works in any other job. Why not?
But in this situation, right, we see them apply a rule that only applies to basketball,
crazy, right?
So whenever it was convenient, you went ahead and said, "Oh no, we're gonna do something that's just like strictly for NCAA basketball." But when it comes to compensation, you're like, "Oh no, we need to, we can't pay the same we're paying the backgammon player, as the water polo." So it's, you gotta, let me know what you want to do. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Who has the best backgammon facility in the country, by the way? Because the basketball team the basketball team came in third place in the conference this year. We didn't win it though. We came in third place. We still got these like $8 million here, man. Come on, man.
It's crazy. Hey, EA, man. Appreciate you. Man. Damn, it was great, man.
Yeah,
you gotta come back whenever, man.
Yes, sir.
Love, man.
We're gonna make this a revolving door, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate what y'all doing here. I think y'all got a platform. Y'all using it for great reasons. This is like the start. This is how everyone starts. I remember going to Dykeman Park, man. Dykeman Park had the 9-foot rims. It was a marketing strategy. Had Steve Burke dunking on there. And now it's Nike sponsors New York versus New York. So everyone has their humble beginnings, man. I think just keep it flying. Appreciate you having me on
yes, sir.
That shit. Speaking of Dykeman, right outside is the DR parade.
Great,
I'm not gonna say anything to get myself in any this that was probably already too much. But I'm just gonna go get me an empanada pastelito, however you say it. Man, not my fault. EA, appreciate y'all. I done got myself in trouble in the last 30 seconds. And my brother.
Yes, sir. You already know, man.
Like the great Jimmy V say, man, don't give up, don't ever give up. Football will be back. The next time we come,
grass is getting cut, baby.
I got picks.
The little black grass is being sprinkled on the turf.
Yo, show him the shirt again, man. Back to the Future.
For what?
Love.
Peace.
My brothers.
This is love, man. Yo, never pull up, man. Y'all let me know, man. It's going to turn into what they used to bring on for like a couple times, and then after that he just became a regular. Yo, Rob Parker's my new son. Rob Parker?
Yeah, that's the
You ain't from the Bronx, right?
He from Queens.
You from Queens?
Yeah, he from
Nah,
Queens.
he from the Bronx.
He from Queens.
Yo, Rob Parker's my new dude, man. They ESPN shit on Rob Parker.
Yeah, he
For the
fuck.
Cornball brother. Yo,
That was it?
You have to have the dog. Y'all they shit on there. Steve Davis like, oh, yeah, they gonna say nothing after that.